Hello everyone, Miss Art Garden here, and today I'm going to go through how to draw a face from different angles. And this was suggested by Super Mangaka. I'm terrible at pronouncing it, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Who suggested I do faces with different perspectives. The first thing I want to go through is if you're drawing any face, I think that you can break it down to a pretty easy bare bones guide, which is a circle to represent the cranium, a vertical guideline to represent the middle of the face, and a horizontal guideline to represent where the eyes go, or in my case I usually draw them right below where I put the horizontal guideline. And if you want to draw a face from different angles, you can think about this as your bare bones, because if you manipulate it, now the face could be looking over there and you'd want to draw your lines somewhat like this, or this, if it's looking over there, you want to draw your lines more at that angle. If it's looking up, you want to draw your lines at that angle. And if it's looking down, you want to think about it being more at that angle. And I know that's just kind of a crude representation, but let's go ahead and draw a face that is looking upwards so that you see a little bit of underneath the chin. So we're going to start with a circle. And I'm going to draw that line right down the middle of the face. And this time when I draw the horizontal guideline, I'm going to draw it at an angle looking upwards. And then if you've watched my other tutorials, you know the next step is to draw in the shape of the face. So the face shape will be like this. You put two lines down here and they'll stop right kind of below where this cranium circle is, and this is where the back of your jaw basically is, the bend of the jaw, the hinge of the jaw, however you want to consider it. And then the face will come in a bit at the jawline, and then there'll be a bit of a chin showing, so it actually goes up a little bit like that. And that's a face shape for this perspective. And then if you want to go in and kind of, these are just guides, so they don't have to be perfect, but I'm going to fix that a little bit so it'll be a little more symmetrical looking in the end. And then the neck will go behind the jaw, and depending, thicker necks for men or just more masculine looking necks, and then thinner necks for women or children, or however, we'll just kind of do a general middle ground neck like that. And then hopefully that helps you kind of see what we're doing here. I'm also going to say, when you're coloring it, to help you understand what's going on here, I'm going to put a little bit, some hatch lines here. This would be like under the chin. So this area would be in shadows. Okay, so let's draw in some of the features of the face. The eyes will go a little bit squinty, I suppose you could say. I'm going to just mark in the tops of them a little bit like this. Just messily put them in. This is the sketching face. And instead of doing like a rounded off bottom, we're going to do like, it's kind of squinty almost. Same rules apply. You'll want your eyes to be about an eye length apart. And then the nose would go, I put it about an eye length to an eye length and a half downwards. And this is going to depend on your character's face. But for now, we're just going to put the nose, we're just going to eyeball it about there, I think. And I don't want to make it too wide. And that's just the peak of the nose. I usually put a bulbous part in. You can skip this part if you don't like it, but you do have to draw in the nostrils and give it a little bit room underneath there so the nose has some shape. Maybe I'll widen that out just a bit. And then we want to draw the mouth line, and that is just a little bit under this nose. You'll want to leave room for the chin here, but you also want it a little under. So I'm going to put that mouth line in, and I'm going to erase some of these guides so it's easier to see. And then we can put that little bump up there. We can put the bottom lip down here, and we can move this maybe up in a little bit more of a shaped thing. So you're seeing the bottom lip more than the top lip like that. Just refine some of these features and then we'll move on to the next angle. So if you want, you can add your little creases above the eyes here. I'm going to erase this. And then we can add the eyebrows in a little bit above. Everything is a little bit foreshortened from this perspective. We can add the actual eyes themselves in, and I'll just plop them in so she or he is looking up. And then we'll put the ears in. I'm going to make a little slight adjustment. I was kind of working on this earlier and I don't think I went far enough, so I'm going to move that in just a little bit. If you see anything that you think looks a little unsymmetrical or whatever, don't be afraid to just sketch a little adjustment or correction in. So the ears will just kind of be down a little bit and to the side like this perspective. This one I think I stuck out a little bit too much. That's fine, we'll fix it. So now we have that done. You can add hair or clothes or shoulders or anything. If you want to add the jugular lines, they'd be down like this. So let's move on and do the next face. I'm going to just shrink this over a little bit so we have a little more room to work in. So for the next angle, let's have the face tilting upwards like this. So we're going to start again with the cranium circle, and we're going to tilt it up like that. We'll add in our horizontal and vertical guidelines. Now for this one, we're going to draw in the face shape, and we'll go in a little bit where the eye socket is, come out, go down where the cheeks are, and then when we come down here, this is where our chin is going to come in like so. And you're going to actually see a little bit here. I'll show you once we get down to that side. So this side will go down, and the jaw is kind of hidden back here. So it's pretty much up to this side to show the jaw. We'll just come in right about there, because we've established that's the chin. So the jaw would be right about here, maybe a little bit higher up. And then the neck would go down behind that. The other neck would go down here. This little line I put in is the kind of represents the chin. You can come down and go up like that. Okay, and then we'll just put in the eyes here. So this one would come in like that and be interrupted by the nose. And then we'll just go over here about an eye length apart, put this one in, and just, shape them however you want. This nose would come out a little bit, and it's going to be foreshortened. So it's going to stick up a little bit more. A normal nose might come down like this, and you'd have your nose like that. But this one's going to be tilted upwards because of the angle. So I'm going to put this like here, and you'll be able to see a little bit of the nostril here. And then you can put the mouth in, and I'm going to just stick it on in, sketch it in like this. There's a little bit of the top lip here, and then you can kind of mark in the bottom lip like so. And then last thing to do is just put in the eyes. And I'm going to fix this eye that I got a little bit wrong, just like that. And we'll put the eyes in so it's looking over here. Oh, and then of course the eyebrows, which I always forget. Put that crease in the eyes there. Put the eyebrows here and here. And then the ear would go over here, and you're going to see it more because it's rolled into this side of the head. So we'll start it here, and it'll go down here. And maybe you'd see it like the jaw would be there. See what I mean? Erase that. Then you could have, I didn't detail the other ear. We'll just kind of do that for this one. And then I'm going to just erase this because I think it's come out a little bit too much. Just like that. Okay, so let's do one more face angle. I'll put this one out of the way over here. And then let's make this a new layer just in case I'm going over there. For the last one, we'll do the perspective like the face is looking up from the profile view. So I'm going to start with the cranium circle as I always do. I'm going to go down like so and just mark it in like that. That's about the length of the face I want, and that is the horizontal guideline. I'm just doing this part here to kind of help me measure the length that I want. We'll do the vertical guideline here for the eyes, and then we will shape in the face. So the bridge of the nose here is going to go in and then out, and like I said, it's a bit of a up perspective, so we'll give it an extreme upwards, a little bit of a point, I guess. And I'll erase that so we can see here. Move that in like that, and then we'll go down. The lips will be a little bit more shown from this angle, so I'm going to draw in a little bit of a point here, and then this bottom one will come up and down so that it's like you're seeing the top a little bit more. I'm going to just keep erasing this as I go. It's kind of what I do. And then we'll draw the bottom lip in. We'll just kind of shape it in, sketch it in. I'm going to end up making this chin a little bit shorter than my initial guide. So we'll have it go like this. And then once it stops here, the neck would be here, and we'll have a couple lines here to represent where the jaw is. And you can imagine I'll do the same thing I did on that first one. That would be where the shadow is. I can do it over here as well, where you have the shadow area. Just kind of helps, I think, when you're doing these kind of perspective things, if you add a little bit of shadow area in your sketches so you can see. Okay, so we have that kind of detailed out, and then the eye is pretty much standard, the same way you would draw it, where it's gonna come in and then it'll meet up at this corner and go down, or however, whatever style you eye, and then you want to foreshorten that so it's a little bit more of an ellipse than a circle. Something like that, and then you can add your little crease and your eyebrow, and then if you want, your ear would be, this would be the bottom, and it'd go up a little bit and then come around here. Okay, it's kind of going into this one, so I'll move it over because I did that. So that's just the sketched out general idea of drawing some up perspective heads. So you could just go in now and touch up, and if you want to give these sketches like a specific characteristic, big frowny face over here, we'll just kind of smooth that out. I might reshape this nose. The important thing is when you're sketching not to worry too much about it looking perfect. Get the general shape out. You can go in and do touches up later, but I hope that this tutorial was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you want to see any more face angles, let me know. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. video.